is a code of block. It's a block of code. Sorry. The block of code that's meant to perform a particular task. Yes, it may return or not return a value, and then it may have arguments or not. Arguments are the inputs. Yes, yes.
All right. So, okay, thank you very much. So, I'll put H2 here. Then I go to the P. So you say a function is a block is, so I'll say a function is a defined block of code that is meant to perform, when we say to perform something, should we say to fulfill a particular task? Okay, particular task. So there are some, okay, we shall continue here and we say functions in PHP have names. They can have, I think there, names such the same way variables do. I think for this one, I better put it in a list. And then I can say functions can have parameters. We shall get to know what parameters are. Typing. What else do functions do? Functions can return values. For that function to perform, for the function to perform a given task, the function must be invoked or called or executed. What else should can a function do? Please. All right, for now I'll stop here if you don't have an idea. So first of all, a function is a defined block of code that is meant to fulfill a particular task. The characteristics of functions are that functions in PHP have names, the way variables do, okay? Of course, okay. There are special cases when functions do not have names. Such functions which don't have names called anonymous functions. Something you can call in some programming languages, it's called a lambda function. Okay, so usually these are used as callbacks. Okay, so functions can have parameters. Functions can return values. If you want a function to perform a given task in PHP, it must be invoked or called or executed. Now, the example of invoking a function is, let's see here, an example. Okay, so this example of invoking an inbuilt function. So an inbuilt function is the function that comes bundled in the programming language. Okay, so these functions that come bundled in a programming language are easy. For them, you don't have to define them. The only step you have to take is to invoke them. For example, which function can we invoke in PHP? There's a function we've used over and over, which is the echo, okay? Echo, echo, this is a session about functions. Okay, so this one over here simply, just a moment, I want to. All right, I was checking if there's anyone in the chat. So this code here on line 25 is referred to as a function call, okay, whereby we've called the function and we've passed something in it. So where function, let's write here that functions have circle brackets as part of their name. Then we can add that the code, the function will execute is defined in the function body in a pair of curly brackets. The curly brackets come after the what? Do they come after or before the circle brackets? What am I doing? This is supposed to be starting. So I'll save this and we shall go to the browser and see. So here I'll reload and you can see whatever I've been writing. So maybe I need to put contain around them by writing section here, section here so that I remove them from the extreme margin. All right. So, all right. Do you have a question so far? No question?
No question.
Okay. Let me just a moment. I want to put something here called the line height, and I give it about what, 1.2. Just want to see these ones expand a bit. I'll leave that alone. It doesn't work out the way I wanted. Oh, let me correct this one and correct this one. So if there's no questions so far, this over here, we said it's a function called the inbuilt function. So there's another one which could be something like, which we've used already. Which have we used? Okay, let's just set to defining. Let's just go to defining functions. When I say custom, that means the functions you create by yourself. Okay. So here we can say, we can open PHP and we can write the keyword. We even write it. We write the keyword function. Then we write the function name. If, for example, we want a function that outputs a greeting, we can say greet, and if we can write inside here, we can write echo hi David. Can do something like that, terminate. So this is the definition. So this part over here is the function body. This is the code. The function will execute when it's called. Then all over here, just a moment, I put some comments. So just over here, can say at name. So the name of the function is greet. Okay, it's great. And then we can say that if we want to use this function, we have to call it. How do we call it? We write the function name followed by parentheses. Then the code, this code over here, will be executed. So let's see. You see, hi David has appeared, but it has been invoked by a certain. It has been invoked by calling the greet keyword. I mean, yeah, the greet keyword which we've created. So be careful when you are creating functions. Then the other thing about functions is that just like variable names, a slight change in the name means this is a different thing. So if we write capital G and say greet, okay? And echo, you can say hola. Hola is the Spanish version of hi. Then we can use, we can invoke this function here. Now we expect it to give us a different message as opposed to, just a moment, I see it is complaining, just a moment. Okay, let me just go to the browser and refresh and see which error we have. Cannot redeclare. Wow, this is great. So cannot redeclare, they have transformed this second function, the capital letter G, they have transformed it to the small letter. And they are saying that I cannot redeclare this function. So that is one thing that I wanted you to see. So let's put a capital letter at the end of the function and we see. We might get the same error. Yeah. And this error stops all the rest of the code from running. So that means if we want, you can have something like greet2. Let me actually call greet2 with the name in capital letter and we see. Yeah, so, oh, it is on the same line because I did not, so on the same line, I should have said, should have put a break line. Or I should take this one out of here. I can write a paragraph here, the opening PHP tag, and call the function like that. So if I refresh, hola, see that? So that's how functions work in a small, in a short perspective, okay? Or in a little detail. Any question yet? No question, eh?
No.
That's great.
David.
Yes. Hello?
No, I'm seeing a message on my screen saying that low system resources may affect your audio quality, and I'm not hearing you well.
You are not hearing me. And then they said, read the message again.
Low system resources may affect your audio quality. Try closing some applications to improve performance.
What?
Welcome to new thing. The Bluetooth device is ready to pair.
You just need to close some apps. And how much RAM does your computer have?
Goodbye.
8. Oh. And the storage, how much free space is remaining?
Let me check. C has 20 GB. D has 35 GB.
The free.
Yes.
Then that means you need to close some application. They are using much of your RAM.
Okay.
Especially Google Chrome. All right. So now let's continue. So if this is how we create a function, now we need to see a function which returns something, okay? So here we're defining custom functions. So number 3, creating functions that return a value. Please pay attention to this, okay? Because there's something some people don't really, that confuses people, okay? So I need us to do whatever to pay attention. So I'll create PHP here. Then I want a function that returns the name, okay? So function, and we can say that it returns get name, something like that. It's not good to, most popularly, the PHP function names are like this. So now we want it to return a name. So we use the return keyword and we write the name, okay, or whatever you want the function to return. Now, when I do this and I call this function PHP get name, what do you think is gonna happen? Come again.
I think it will call the function, but then it won't be able to see the output because it is returning something, and then that something is not being maybe stored somewhere or maybe echoed to the screen or something.
Okay. Who else has the same idea like David? Hello? Are we together? You can even write in the chat if you can't talk.
They will print one pamba, David.
Really? Who else has the same idea as Fanny? And who has the same idea as David?
Maybe first go back if I'm sure.
It says that we pick the name and print
I
it.
think
That is Henry. It's funny, what do you think?
it will print your name. Get name, which is David Wampamba.
Okay. Sharon, what do you think?
I don't know, because the difference I'm seeing this time around is we use the word return instead of echo. So I'm not sure of what is going to bring me. Let me test it out practically, and you see.
Okay, try to be faster.
Yes.
Try to be faster.
I'm testing it out.
Okay.
Just that it's just taking forever.
So,
Chrome.
okay.
Chrome.
Oh, do you know about Brave, a browser called Brave?
Yes.
I suggest it's the one you should use, especially if you have little resources. So functions that return values.
Doesn't return anything.
Doesn't return anything or does it show anything?
Doesn't show anything.
Okay, so now the value that is returned is it's just returned, but it's not output, because returning and outputting are two different things. When you return a value from a function, it's because you want to use that value somewhere. Maybe you want to store it in a variable, maybe you want to concatenate to a string, maybe you want to manipulate it, you know. So if we go and refresh our web page, you can see that the heading is there, but the amount of money, I mean, the name is not displayed, okay? Simply because when we return, the programming language is expecting for you to use the returned value in the future. So how can you use that returned value? You can put the echo here or the print here. So that what this function returns, you now can decide to display it. Some people wonder how this can be used in the real world. And I tell you, it can be used in the real world. Why? Because there are many times you want to use a given value more than once in a program. But if you told your function to just output it, that means you cannot keep moving this value somewhere. Okay, so if we add the echo, the value that this one returns and stores in the compiler will be output. Okay, so let's see. You see that now the name has been output. Without echoing, the name won't get to be output. Does it make sense?
No, because
Hmm.
at first I had actually used echo, get name, but I still didn't see anything. Up to now, I'm not seeing anything being returned.
Could you paste your code in the chat?
Let me just type it.
Okay. Are you done? Let me check the chat.
You first continue, I'm still typing.
Okay, anyone else has a question? Okay, no one has a question. All right, now that we return, we can even use, you can even now get the greeting and join it to we can get the greeting and join it to the name, and we have something like this. Can get greet to, put the parenthesis, and we want to have a space in between the greeting and the name. So we shall concat an empty string like that, and we echo them. Okay. So this one, who can guess what this one is going to display? If you cannot talk, you can write in the Zoom chat.
Hola, David Wampamba.
Okay, hola, David Wampamba. Okay, yeah, you are right. Okay, so let's see if it will display it. Okay, let me see. So did I save? No, I did not save. Come back to the web page and hola, David Wampamba. Yes, that's what it will do. And so Sharon, yeah, thank you. The code you've typed in the chat, I've seen it. You wrote function greet underscore name parenthesis, then open curly bracket, and you wrote the keyword return. You put Sharon in the string and you terminated, then you close the curly bracket and then you echo get name. So remind me, what was the intention? Yeah, you said you had not understood. Yeah, that's why.
It is not returning anything.
You are you saying that it's not outputting anything?
Yes, I mean, yes.
No, it should output it. Okay. Let me now, first of all, let's be specific or explicit when we are using the word return. The word return is a special word in programming languages. So I want us to try and avoid using return in the place of output. Okay, I want us to avoid that. So returning is not outputting or displaying. Okay, so when you return, what the function is doing, it's actually doing two things. It is telling the function that the value you should provide to the programming language or to the calling code is this. But after doing that, stop the function execution. So for example, if I put some code here, like echo, wow, you know, I don't expect this function to do it because after the return statement is ignored. Okay, so for example, let me first remove this and do this without the echo, because without the echo, I expect that the echo in the function body would output the code or the string that is after echo. But because we all know that the code after the echo, after the return, is not supposed to be executed, we don't expect to see anything on the screen. Okay, we don't expect. So if I do like, you see, there's nothing here after creating functions that return a value in PHP. There's nothing. But because there's a value that this function returns, I can echo that value, or I can store that value in something like a name, like this, and then I can echo out the name. To echo is to output. To return is to tell the code that you are going to be returning this value so that it can be reused. Okay, so now if I type your code, Sharon, here, excuse me, my keyboard is acting up. If I write your code here, please guide me if what I'm typing is correct. Okay, if I type it here and write return Sharon, Then I echo get. Of course, it's going to tell me I cannot redeclare the function. So what I have to do for now is to comment out this code and this. So that's what I have to do for now to avoid that error. And then this also, because it would give me an error that name is undefined or name is not declared. So I expect to see your name. But if I don't include the echo, I don't expect to see your name. You see, I'm seeing your name. Sharon, are you seeing it?
Yes.
So that's what I expect. Now, but if I don't put the echo, because the function is not outputting, whatever it's returned is stored in the memory, in the computer memory, waiting for you to use it. You see now, it's not there because I've not put the echo statement. So let's agree that returning it is not a synonym of outputting. Are we good?
Yeah, good. But me, I'm not seeing results.
I think I
Okay.
should let.
When I whether I use echo or I don't use echo, I don't see anything. Like it still
No,
be
share your screen.
no. I'm using the phone, but then I'm
Mm-hmm.
using the computer for writing the code.
Okay, sorry. Now it's difficult to troubleshoot, but I guess you will be able to figure it out. Yeah. Anyone facing a similar challenge? Hello?
No,
No one. No one. But are people trying out? People like Fanny, David, and Henry. Are you writing this code and are you getting results or not?
yes, I'm writing the code and it's working fine.
And it's working. Okay, that's great. So now the question is, I don't know why Sharon is facing a challenge. Now I'll continue to what? Just a moment, I wanted. So we've seen that we can set the code after the return keyword is not executed. Okay, so let's do one function which returns and also outputs. Okay, so if we want a function, let's write here a function that outputs something and also returns a value. Fanny, are you there?
Yes.
Are you getting the things or not?
Yeah, I'm following, but sinking. Maybe it's taking slow to sink in.
Maybe you'll have to rewatch. You have to rewatch. The first thing I want you guys to get accustomed to is the characteristics and definitions, okay, of functions that we put here. Because if you don't do, okay, facts about functions. Okay, because if you don't do, then this whole thing that we are talking about, you won't understand. So for example, if we go with the number one, which says functions in PHP have names the way variables do. This is the functioning name, okay? This is the functioning name. Then we said that there are special cases when functions do not have names. Such functions are called anonymous functions. Usually these are used as callbacks. So this one here, this step, we've not looked at it yet. Then functions can have parameters. We've not looked at this. Functions can return values. This is what we've spoken about. If you want a function to perform a given task in PHP, it must be invoked or called or executed. We've looked at this by calling a function. We've done that several times. Then we say the functions have circle brackets as part of their name. The circle brackets are these ones. Okay, so there's no way you can say that something is a function without it having the circle brackets. They come after the name. Then the code the function will execute is defined in the functioning body. I've used the word execute here so that we don't misplace it with the output or return. Because these are the challenges I know that we find as second English speakers or third English speakers. What happens is that execution can be outputting, it can be returning, or something else, but executing does not necessarily mean to output. So when we say that the code the function will execute is defined in the functioning body, okay, the body is in a pair of curly brackets. The curly brackets come after the circle brackets. Okay, after the function name and these circle brackets. So there's something else I have to do it. There's something I have to mention, which I think I forgot. Function names, somewhere I think I did not write that. To create a function, we use the function keyword in PHP. That is something that I had skipped or forgotten. All right. So I think now, Fanny, I think now you are a bit getting closer. After that breakdown. Oh, that's great, Sharon. Could you tell us the issue you discovered? What was the problem?
Okay. I have many files open on my VS Code. I'd created, okay, not many, just 2 files, but I was writing the code in a different file.
That's
and
great.
I was checking the output of another code in another file. When I paste the code back, it works as you explained.
All right, that's great. Okay, so glad that you were able to troubleshoot and discover. So let's take a look at this example, and we call it a day because we don't want to have a longer session that is really confusing, so that you get time to go through and to rewatch from the YouTube stream. Okay, so here we are going to, we wanted a function that can output something, but also return something. So for example, we can do a function that add numbers, okay? And we can say that this function is going to have a number called A, which is having 10. Then it is also going to have B, which is 20. Then it's going to return A plus B. But in this function, we are also going to do something, which is to print, to echo that A is equal to A, okay? And B is equal to B. So do you see those curly brackets I'm using? Are you seeing them in the inside the string? Yeah,
Yes.
This is another way of formatting strings in PHP, but you cannot do it with single quotes. Okay? You can only do it with double quotes. So now we are going to call this function add numbers, and you see what it's going to do. Who can guess what it is going to do? Who can guess? Anyone?
It will print A equals the value of A and B equals the value of B. And then it will have to return A plus B, but since we've not assigned a variable to which to return, we cannot get to see the result of the addition operation.
Perfect. Perfect. I think it's perfect too. Is there anyone who, I'm thinking, though we've not yet tested, is there anyone who is thinking around the same lines, or someone who has a different thought?
It will echo A, the value of A and the value of B. Me, I think, because we have not echoed add numbers, it's not going to return the sum of A and B.
No, this is okay. Let's first output. You've said something, but which is correct, but also you mixed up something. So it is returning the value of A. It is saying A equals 10 and B equals 20. Okay, but then I wouldn't encourage you to say that we won't see the sum because the sum won't be returned. No, the truth of the matter is that the sum is returned, but it's in memory. We've just not instructed the computer to display that sum or to output that sum, but we've instructed it to return that sum. So if we said that sum is equal to add numbers, what do you think is going to happen? Anyone who is willing to volunteer, please go ahead.
The value of A plus B will be assigned to the variable sum. Yes.
Is that all?
And then like nothing will show on. I think yeah, it will output A equals A and B equals B, but then it will assign A plus B, the result of A plus B, to the value of to the variable sum.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then if we echo,
David, let me ask.
yeah.
Is $sum an inbuilt function?
$sum is not a function, it's a variable name.
Where is it coming from then? Because I'm not seeing it from line 68 to 78.
We've just introduced it.
Okay.
We've just introduced it.
I got it.
You get it?
Yeah, because I was wondering how it would echo if that thing is not.
Oh, okay. So I need to put a break line. And I need to put a break line here. So let me just put a paragraph here, because I see that no, I don't even need to put a break line. I can leave it on the same line, but say so, and I can say that paragraph, that is so A plus B is equal to this time around. I'll use this shortcut for echo, put the sum and call it a day. So save and then reload. You see that? So A plus B equals to 20. At first it has the function itself has output this statement. Then it stored the value of the returned value, it stored it in the sum. Then we've output the value in the sum at line 78. This helps us demonstrate that the value that has been returned will only appear on the interface if you decide to display it. If you don't decide, it won't appear. For example, this sum here has come as 30, but if I said sum plus 40, the value that we see on the screen will change, because the returned value, you see it shows 70, because the returned value from the function is 30. If we add 10 to it, it becomes the output. We shall see 70. So that's it for today. In the next sessions, we shall look at other things like what? Like parameters, like anonymous functions, and then we shall go back to arrays by using certain functions around them to manipulate them, and then we shall call it the end of the beginners PHP session. All right. So now, is there any question?
No, but I've understood what return does.
Oh, you finally understood what return does.
Yes,
what does it do?
It does what it's supposed to do. But okay, return A plus B, it will return the sum of A plus B, but it will not be echoed, meaning that sum of A plus B will still be there somewhere.
In the computer memory.
Yes, for me, I've understood return for the first time, honestly. Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome. You are welcome. Yeah. So all right. So no one else has a question, right?
No questions.
Okay, that's great. So I'm happy to wish you a great weekend. Continue with it, and yeah.